6 months ago, I left Hong Kong with one goal: make 10K a month playing poker in America. It started in Los Angeles, new city, new country, no backup plan. And Vegas, where I thought it was the poker mecca, but I quickly learned how bad the games really were. Then Texas, the real best games in the country, is where I became Texas Tommy. Florida. I had my nightmare swing game and took the biggest loss in my life. Bay Area. The players were really rich, it just blew my mind. And now I'm back in LA, where I play the biggest game in my life, where it all ends. This is the final episode, and I'm finally going to show you how it all turned out.
Bet it on me, let it ride. Broke white boy, put it all on the line. Lucky me, lit the Sin City on fire. Money on the floor, watch it double 10 times. Bet it on me, let it ride.
Hey guys, first hand in this episode and we're playing 5-5-10 at Hustler. Small blind opens to 40, we looked at a King 7 suited in the big blind and we push in a call. Heads up to a flop of King 8-3 with 2 clubs. He checks it over with the top pair here, I'm betting $50, targeting some under pairs 8x to call. And now small blind check raise to 145. Because it's a blind versus blind situation, our range is both pretty wide. So except from value hands like Ace King, King Queen, I think he may still find bluffs like flush draw, some backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. So with the top pair here, I like to put in a call. Turns the deuce of spades, and he continued to bet 335 into 390. So when a player check raise the flop and follow with a big bet on the turn, about 95 out of 100 times, they are not bluffing. So I made the fold on the turn, but actually, I would like to fold the flop. Because so many times they're not just bluffing with check raise, even if it's on the flop. So in this 5 months, if I can just fold to every check raise with my thick value or thin value, I would be winning a lot more money. So keep this in mind, unless you have very strong hands or draws, just fold to check raise of recreational players and it will save you tons of money. Alright, next hand here, we opens to 50 in the cutoff with JJ Barea. Big blind calls, heads up to a flop of King Jack 3 with 2 clubs. Look at that sweet baby there. I will miss saying this. Big blind checks it over, single raise pot in position. Normally I'm betting small or half pot, but this time I choose to bet big. I bet 75 into 105 because look, what are we targeting? We're targeting hands like Queen 10, some flush draws, some King X, and I think even pocket 3s versus a $75 bet, he's raising. So I think betting bigger on this flop can earn us more money, and big blind puts in the call. Turns a queen of hearts, so when he checks it over, what is his range? Hands like King, Queen, King 10, some flush draws, a lot of pair plus straight draw. So actually I would like to go huge here, targeting that in elastic portion of his range. I bet 500s into 255, but unfortunately he folds this time. And next hand here, low jack puts in the straddle to 20. And we look down at pocket 7s in the high jack. With pocket 7s, we opens to $75, fold all the way to the straddle, and he says,
What did you wake up with?
Pocket aces.
Pocket aces? Let's see if I can beat it. We want to try. How much you have?
Sorry?
How much do you have? That's it?
That's it.
All right, let's go. You have aces?
Oh.
I thought you have aces.
That's interesting.
You're lying.
what? And he just shoved into my face? 2.3k? 2300? Honestly, what can we do? I made the fold and Nice hand. Big pot alert! The straddle's on, small blind leans, middle blind opens to 145, and we look down at ace queen offsuit in the big blind. He got about 1k behind, so I don't want to 3-bet that big. I just 3-bet to $310. Small blind puts in the cold call. Middle blind comes along as well, so we're 3 ways to the flop of king 10-5 with 2 clubs. The pot is about $900, and small blind donks lead shove for $1,400. And middle blind calls off his all-in about $900 effective. So I did a bit of the calculation. We got 4 outs. Actually, we don't really have 4 outs because maybe the jack of clubs is not the out. So we just have about 3 clean outs. The odd is not good, so we made the fold. But let's see what they got. Turns the 7 of clubs, rivers an ace of diamonds, and middle blind tables ace jack of clubs, which is the nut flush, and I guess small blind has king x. Just shove 1.4k into 900 after he cold call in the small blind. Yeah, and just by that, we lost a 3-bet pot. That's it. Alright, next hand here, the straddle is still on. Low jack leams. We look down at ace 10 offsuit in the cutoff, and we bump it up to 105. Small blind, middle blind, low jack call, so we have 4 ways. Even if I made it to 105, that means I could just ISO to 150 or 200s because they're not folding. But anyway, 4 ways to a flop of 9-3 deuce with 2 spades. They check it over to us in a multi-way pot. I'm only betting my good hands and good draws, so I elect to check it back. Turns a queen of spades. The front door flush gets there. And they check it over again, so what is their range? You know, I don't know what is their range, but it doesn't matter. What I know is they don't have a flush. Because if somebody have a flush, they will start leading the turn. And also, we got the ace of spades, so actually it doesn't really matter. I would just do it with every air. I bet $400 into 440. Actually, I'm not targeting to fold out everything on the turn. I hope some hands call. I hope they're calling with the king of spades. I hope they're calling with queen x or 9x. Because we want to value bet on the turn even without bluffs, as long as he's folding the river. But unfortunately, they all fold. Hey guys, just finished a session at Hustler. Today we play 5-5-10. I would say the deck is pretty slow today. We played for 4 hours and lost about $200. So Marco will put my total result here. Thank you, Marco. And before we leave this town, I still got about 2 sessions to go. So I'll enjoy the sessions and hope we can lock some big wins before we leave. Hope you guys enjoy. On to the next session. Alright, second session, and we're still playing 5-5-10 at, Los Angeles Hustler. First hand here, we looked at pocket kings, on the hijack, and we raise it up to 50. Small blind and big blind both call, so we have 3 ways to a flop of 10-6-3 with 2 spades. They check it over. I bet $100 into 150. Only the big blind calls, so we have heads up to the turn, which comes an ace of hearts. He checks it over, so what is his range? He can have some 10x, some straight draws, some flush draws. Some hands like a6 of spades on the flop will hit a top pair on the turn. So actually on its turn, I would like to check it back. And the river is a 4 of clubs. He checks it over, so what is his range? If he has missed draws, sometimes he will bluff, sometimes he will check, but that doesn't really matter. We don't care about the missed draws. And he can have 10x or pocket 9s, pocket 8s. So I ask myself the inverse question, how much would I bet to fold out a hand like king 10 or queen 10? I would bet about pot or $300 to fold out 10x, so I size down to $200 into 350. Big blind puts in a call, we show our hand, and we are good. Second hand here, cutoff limps. We look down at pocket 7s on the button and we ISO to 60. Cutoff puts in a call, so we're heads up to a flop of ace 5-4 with a rainbow. He checks it over in a single raise pot, ace high flop. My strategy is to overbet or check because they have way too many a6 and also they are not always fast playing their strong hands on ace high boards, so we check it back with our pocket 7s. Turns a 4 of clubs. He checks again, so what is his range? I think if he has an ace, he is betting on the turn. So I think most of the time we are ahead here. I bet 75 into 135, targeting some flush draws, straight draws, 5x to call. And could have pushed in a check raise to 175. So what is his range? At that time, I think he can be check raising hands like Queen Jack of clubs, some flush draws because I show weakness of checking back the flop. He wanted to attack me for not c-betting an ace-high flop. I don't have a strong hand. But actually, do they really think like that? But in-game, as played, I put in a call because I think he still have some bluffs. And the river is another 4 of hearts. Any pair will make a full house. And he bets 150 into 485. So, what is his range? Let's say if he has some flush draws, some straight draw miss on the river, would he be bluffing this river? I doubt that because let's say he's check raising with draws and we push in a call. What do we have in his eyes? Yeah, a lot of weak ace-x. And would an ace fold on this river? No. So actually, I don't think a player is bluffing this river, but I was stubborn. I put in a call and he shows Queen 4 of diamonds. He hit the quads. So, we lose.
It's coaching time.
Hey Tommy, walk me through the turn. On the turn, because he checks on the turn, I think he got no ace. So, I'm value betting. Targeting hands like flush draw, straight draw to call. And when he check raise, I think maybe he is bluffing because we check back the flop. He wants to attack me for not having an ace. So Tommy, hold on. If a player is aggressive enough to check raise flush draw, what would he do when you check back the flop? Yeah, he will lead the turn because I check back the flop. Yeah. When is the last time people check raise bluff on the turn? Remind me. When George Washington Carver was the US president? Yeah. And when Kobe Bryant played for Charlotte Hornets? Yeah, Kobe is my GOAT.
I guess I don't even need to do coaching time because you did it. You got it. You don't even need me anymore.
Next hand here, EP Limbs, we looked at Freddie McCurry in the hijack and re-ISO to 65. EP puts in a call, so we're heads up to a flop of Jack 7-5 with 2 diamonds. He checks it over, I bet 75 into 145. And he puts in a call, turns a 7 of spades, so what is his range? When he call a half-pot size bets on the flop, he doesn't have pocket 7s, he doesn't have pocket 5s, he doesn't have 2 pairs. He got hands like Jack X, some straight draw, some flush draw. So on the turn when he checks it over, I would like to choose the biggest size Jack X or combo draws is calling. I bet 400s into 300, but this time he folds. Alright, in this hand, we open to 50 with Ace-King from early position. Big blind puts in a call, so we heads up to a flop of Queen 8 deuce with 2 clubs. He checks it over, single ace pot in position. I'm betting a half pot or small. I bet 40 into 105 and he puts in a call. Turns a 10 of spades, so when he checks it over, what is his range? Because he didn't raise on the flop, he doesn't have pocket 8s, he doesn't have pocket deuces, he doesn't have Queen 8. He got some flush draws, he got some Queen 8s, he got some one pair type hand. So versus this range, I think Ace, King, not high. We got some showdown value here, so I elect to check it back. And river is a 6 of clubs, completing the front door flush. So when he checks it over, what is his range now? If he has a flush draw on a flop, when his flush completes on the river, he's going to bet. So we got showdown value on the turn versus his draws. But on a river, he didn't bet. That means he's not on a draw. He has some showdown value or thin value. Hands like Queen X, Deuce X, or pocket 5s, pocket 4s, this type of hands. So on the river, when he checks it over, we got no showdown value here. And we need to turn our hand into a bluff. But in this case, actually, we don't need to be efficient. If he has a flush, after we check back the turn, he is always leading on the river if he has a flush. So that means he doesn't have any strong hand. There is no break walls. So I bet $400 into 185 because I just don't think he is calling anything. I'm getting a range fold here and we got it. He folds. Big pot alert! The straddle's on to 20, button and small blind lane. We looked at a pocket threes in the middle blind. I'm only isoing or squeezing linear out of position. So I just put in a call. Big blind and straddle comes along. So we have 5 ways to a flop of 8-3 deuce with 2 spades. Look at the cutie pie. Small blind and us check it over, but it checks through on the flop. Turns the 7 of clubs, and we decide to check it again to the straddle, and it bets 75 into 95. And look at the button. He raised it up to 300s. He is a splashy player. If he has a draw, he's not folding. If he has a hand, he's not folding. He's just willing to gamble a lot of money when he have a made hand or a draw. So when the action's on us, I like to raise it again to $900. Big blind makes the fold and button calls, so it has up to the river, which comes a king of clubs. Nothing really changed. The pot is now 1.9k. We got $600 effective. So I put him all in, but he said he missed and button folds.
It's coaching time.
Could you talk to me about this turn here? I like the checking on the turn. Then straddle goes 75, button goes 300, and you just got to be excited right now. What are you thinking with this raise size?
First thing is they love the hand. For the button, he is splashy. He is raising his draws. He is raising his top pairs. He is easy to stack off. He just don't believe people having good hands, and he chase draws for a large amount. So when he raised, I think, oh, it's a stream spot. I need to put in more money.
Why 900? Because here's the problem, Tommy. What if the button has a hand like 7x of spades?
He's going to call as well.
He's gonna call for all the money, and the problem is like you're not gonna like. Why are you leaving 600 behind? You're just like you're opening the door to get yourself like free rolled on the river.
But if I shove like 5x, some draws are starting to get squeamish, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's okay. If someone folds like a spade draw, that's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world when you have a set, when they just like fold out their equity.
Yeah, but choosing a size to make them call, I think we earn more from that.
Okay, look at it this way. Like, if you had a hand like a naked spade draw here, would you feel comfortable check raising the button all in after the straddle stabs for nearly pot and the button raises?
No, because they may have good hands. They may have 2 pairs. And yeah.
Or just like pair plus straight draw or pair plus flush draw.
Yeah, but if we go all in, we're just targeting like pair plus straight draw or 2 pair.
Okay, what hands does the button have that raises to 300 on this board?
Combo draws.
Are those folding 1500?
Actually, I think so.
Okay, well that's good for you then. The problem with going 900 is like, you're gonna have 600 behind on the river. When this guy gets there on the river, you get stacked, and when he bricks on the river, you don't win the money if he has a combo draw. And if he just has like 2 pair,
those are not folding.
Yeah, it's not folding. So you're free rolling yourself when he has a combo draw, and like why not just go all in if he has a made hand?
And also at that time, like the straddle has like 3k.
So you're worried about the straddle, like?
Actually, to be honest, a little bit, but we're stacking off anyway.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like I think the problem is like the button is the aggressor here, and we're leaving behind 600, which sets us up for like to get free rolled on the river from a combo draw. I think that's my quality here. Well, you're 3k effective with the straddle.
With the straddle.
Yeah, so just make it 1500. Put the button in.
Yeah, put the button in because he loves his hand. Yeah,
just put the button in. If the straddle like 4-bet jams here, well then we can think about it. Yeah, I just like I don't like leaving 600 behind here because he's not folding a made hand for an additional 600, and it allows him to free roll when he's got a big draw. You see here what ends up happening in this hand is we jam the river and he folds.
Big pot alert! Again. Low jack limps, we looked at a pocket 8s in the hijack and we ISO to 75. Middle blind and big blind calls, so we have 3 ways to a flop of king, 7, 8 with 2 clubs. Middle blind checks and big blind donks for 210 into 235. So when he chooses to donk this big size in a multi-way pot, what does that mean? That means he loves his hand. You guys may say, didn't you say when players donk they're full of shit, why don't you just call? But not in this case. He donks with a big size in a multi-way, so we raise it up to 600s. Middle blind folds and big blind moves all in for 800s. Of course we snap it off and fast roll showing our hand, turns a 6 of diamonds, rivers another 6 of spades. We hit the full house, and just by that, we won a 1.8k pot. Easy money.
It's coaching time.
I think I played this hand good. What happened?
Yeah, same thing, Tommy. Why are you leaving him $200 behind? Just jam. Why are you doing this? Just make it 800. I know what happened. He was hiding. He had 2 chips and he was hiding them like in his sleeve. He was doing the old Alec Torelli. Before he bet 210, he took like 2 stacks and he like shoved them in his shirt so you couldn't see them. So you made it 600. You thought you were putting them all in.
This is the case. Yeah.
This is Alec Torelli Jr. It's a good move. One to definitely keep in your arsenal. This guy got you. He got you good.
Next hand here, cutoff opens to 35 small blind calls, and we looked at a 5-4 suited in the big blind. We put in a call 3 ways to a flop of 8-4-4 with 2 clubs. Easily, we made a trips again. We check it over to the cutoff who bets 35, and small blind raised to 75. So what is their range? I think cutoff is c-betting his whole range, so we don't need to care about him. And for the small blind, he is a splashy player. If he's an OMC or a tighter player, I would be a little bit concerned of our kicker here. He's that type of player who will check raise his flush draw, straight draw aggressively. So I think other than 4x or pocket 8, something like that, he can be doing this check raise with a lot of draws. Even versus a 3-bet on the flop, he's not folding. So I like to put in a 3-bet on the flop to 250. Everything goes according to our plan. Cutoff folds and small blind puts in a call. We heads up to the turn, which comes an 8 of hearts, double pairing the board. So when he checks it over, I don't think draws is calling any amounts here because an 8 or 4 will just made a full house. He's drawing that. So I elect to check it back. And the river is a king of diamonds. When he checks it over, what is his range now? If he somehow has an 8, he would definitely bet the river. If he has a draw like 7-6, 6-5 or any spades draw, he's not calling any amount. So I just found one target here. Is the king X of clubs. If he hit a king on the river, how much would I need to bet to fold out a king? I think I would need to go like $800 or $900. And I sized down to 600s. That's too bad he folded, but I'm happy with my thought process in this hand. Alright, in this hand, a rake opened to 30 from the hijack, and we look down at ace-jack offsuit on the button. I flat call here because I want to invite the recreational players behind me to come along, so the big blind call as well, and we have 3 ways to a flop of ace-7-4 with 2 spades. Big blind checks it over and hijack c-bet 40 into 95. Not much reason to raise here, so we put in a call. Big blind folds, so we heads up to the turn, which comes a deuce of clubs. He checks it over, so what is his range? If he has good ace-6 like ace-king, ace-queen, I think this guy is probably going to continue to bet on the turn, so he doesn't have a good ace. And most of the time, I think he got hands like pocket kings, pocket queens, some under pairs. So versus that portion of his range, I think I can get 2 straight value from this player. So I'm thinking, should I bet on the turn, or should I check back the turn and big bet on the river? Versus this player, I chose the second option because I think if I check back the turn and then come out and big bet on the river, he's not going to believe me. What separates rig between recreational players is they know the storyline. When the line doesn't make sense, they tend to call more. So I check back the turn and river's an 8 of diamonds. And now he bets 55 into 175. So what is his range now? As we said on the turn, he got no strong ace-6 and he is trying to thin value on the river with his under pairs. So how much would I raise here to fold out a hand like pocket kings or pocket queens? Actually, I would go pretty big. I may even go 300s or 350. So I sized down to 225. And he said he needs to do some randomized shit deciding to call or not. Honestly, I don't know where he put the numbers from. Maybe it's from his watch, maybe from his phone, or maybe from his feeling only. But anyway, he finally puts in a call and we show our hand, of course. We are good. Alright, next hand here, we open on the bottom with ace-8 suited. Middle blind and big blind call, so we have 3 ways to a flop of jack 5-3 with 2 diamonds. They check it over in a multi-way pot. I'm only betting my good hands and good draws, so I like to check it back. And turns a 4 of spades. Nothing really changed on the board, so when they check it over, I got ace high. I don't want to turn it into a bluff now, so I check it back again. And river's a 10 of diamonds, completing the front front door flush. So when they check it over, what is their range? Yeah, again, I don't care about their range, and the only thing I know is they don't have a flush. Because if anybody has a flush here, most of the time they're going to bet the river. So I choose a size to get a range fold, even they have 2 pair or 1 pair. So I bet 250 into 150. Middle line folds and big blind check raise to 750. Oh my god, this is the first time I see a player check over a flush when I show no aggression. Yeah, he has a flush here all day. We lose $250 more in this hand, but it's just happened one time in the 6 months. So you guys can do the maths how profitable it is to turn our hand into a bluff when they are capped. Alright, second last hand of the session, we open to $50 with 8-7 suited in the cutoff. Big blind puts in a call, so we are heads up to a flop of king, queen, 9 rainbow. He checks it over in a single raise pot in position. I'm range betting small. I bet 40 into 105 and he puts in a call. Turns a 10 of clubs. A jack will make the straight. So when he checks it over on this 1 card straightening board, I would like to bet small with my bluffs. Because most of the time they will just raise if they have a straight versus a small size. If they just put in a call versus a small bet, we have the green light to bluff on the river. So I bet 50 into 185 and we got the job done. Yay, last hand here. Low jack, button, small blind, and middle blind lean. We look down at ace jack offsuit in the big blind. We raise it up to 105, low jack, and middle blind call. So we have 3 ways to a flop of jack, 10, 10 with 2 spades. Middle blind checks actions on us. In a multi-way pot, I'm betting my good hands and good draws. We bet 200 into 330. They both call. Turn is a 9 of hearts. Middle blind checks it over. I think this turn can play some obvious straight draw like king, queen. Actually, versus player with no check raise bluff, I think betting here can be good. Because if they are never check raise bluffing, if we bet here, we can still target hands like flush draws or we could jack X. And if we face a check raise, we can just fold our hand because they never bluff. But in game, I like to check it over to the low jack and he checks it back. River's another 10 of diamonds. We made the boat. And middle blind bets 500s, about a half pot size bet. If I have over pairs like aces, kings, or queens here, I'm raising. But with a jack, I'm just calling. Low jack mucks and middle blind tables jack 8 of hearts. So we chop the last hand. Hey guys, just finished today's session and we play okay and run hot. Haha! Today we played for 6 hours and I'm up about 2.2k. Yeah, so Marco will put my tutorials out here. Thank you, Marco. And tomorrow is gonna be our last session in this journey. And I only have one goal, play my best poker tomorrow, so yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next session. Alright, first hand of the last session in this journey, and let's go. We open the 50 with pocket 8s in a low jack. Big blind calls, heads up to a flop of queen, jack, 10 with 2 clubs. He check, we bet 40 into 105 and he puts in a call. Turns an 8 of hearts. We bank a set. And when he checks it over, what is his range? He can have some flush draws, he can have some straight draw, he can have some 1 pair type hand, and he can have a lot of pair plus draws. Hands like king, queen, king, jack, king, 10. I haven't even counted the combos of king, X of clubs. So with the turn set here, I would like to target the most inelastic portion of his range. I bet 350 into 185, but this time, we are not lucky enough, he fold.
It's coaching time.
Oh. Talk to me about this turn size.
I think king queen is not folding, king jack is not folding, king 10 is not folding. I can find a lot of inelastic hands in his range, and I would like to target them on the turn.
The problem with this size is like, what does 9x do when you bet this?
Yeah,
size?
9x is calling. Like on the river, if it's a blank on the river, I'm not betting. Oh, I'll just bet tiny to target queen X, king queen.
Yeah, so I think like my issue with this size is like, if we just go a little smaller here, like 9x always raises. And, well, you know what? I take this back. I take it back. You were right here. You were right on this hand. I like how you played it better than how I was thinking about it.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm gonna give you this one. I think I'm running out of hands, Tommy. You're just like, you're playing too well. You play this hand fine. I think now that I'm thinking about it, your size is better than the size I was gonna tell you.
Next hand here, the straddle song cut off limbs, and we looked at ace 3 suited on the button. We ISO to $100 only to cut off call, so we heads up to the flop of queen 7 with 2 hearts. He checks it over in a single raise pot in position. I'm betting small. I bet 100 into 235, and cut off puts in a call. Turns a 7 of clubs, double pairing the board. So when it checks it over, I think we got ace high here is a showdown value, so I like to check it back. River's a deuce of spades, nothing changed on the board. We still got queen 7 ace, and cut off lits 400s into 435. Normally versus a big bet on the river is always a value. But for this player, I've seen him big bets with his bluffs a lot of the time. So versus this player, actually I didn't think much. I just flexed in a call because I think I'm winning more than 33% of the time. But he shows ace 7 offsuit this time, and we lose a pretty big pot. Big pot alert!
Ow.
We're playing double board PLO bomb pot, and yeah, I'm a specialist as you guys know. We got ace 9-5-5 in the small blind, and the first board comes ace 5, and the second board is 10-7-6. We check it over, and the flop goes check through. Turns a 3 of spades for the first board and a queen of clubs for the second board. We check it over again, and big blind bets 125. Cutoff puts in a call, button it folds, so we repotted it to 500s. Only the cutoff calls, so we heads up to the river, which comes a 4 of hearts for first board and a 7 of spades for the second board. With only one board locked down versus one player, I think most of the time we are chopping here, but I gotta try it. I potted it to 1.1k, hoping to get him to fold, but he puts in a call. We show our hand, and he tables ace 10 for deuce. Actually, he hit a full house on the first board too, but we got a bad both. And he has a pair of 10s on the second board, so we chop this one up. Next hand here, the straddle song, middle blinds open to 80, and we look down at ace king offsuit in the big blind. We raise it up to $300. Middle blind puts in a call, heads up to a flop of 9-6-3 with 2 spades. He checks it over in a 3-bet pot in position. I'm starting by betting small. I bet 200s into 6, and he puts in a call. Turns a deuce of hearts. He checks it over, so what is his range? I think he can have some flush draws, some straight draws, some one pair type hand like 9x, some pocket pairs. So I think I got 2 options here. 1, checking back here to bluff catch the river if he bets small, or moving all in on the turn for a bluff. I chose the second option. I move all in for 1.1k into 800s because I don't think pocket pairs is calling this amount. I don't think 9x is calling this amount, and we got this through. Alright, next hand here we open to 50 with king jack offsuit from the hijack. Button puts in a call, heads up to a flop of king jack 7 rainbow. I don't think this flop is going to be overstepped, so I chose to bet myself. I bet 50 into 115, targeting one pair straight draw to call. Button puts in a call, and we are onto the turn, which comes a 5 of diamonds. He got some king eggs, he got some jack eggs, he got some straight draw, and on this turn there is some possible flush draw as well. He can have hands like queen 10, queen 9 of diamonds. So with the top 2 pair here, I would like to target the inelastic portion of his range. I bet 350 into 215, but unfortunately, button folds. Big pot alert! OMG, I love this hand. I open a 60 with pocket kings in the small blind, middle blind, and big blind comes along, so we are 3 ways to a flop of 5-4 deals. We check it over, looking to do a check raise, and middle blind bets 115 into 175. Big blind folds. Normally versus a bet, I'm check raising here, but since this player chooses a bigger size, I feel not right because I've seen this player using a small size even with hands like top pair or 1 pair. So when he chooses this 2/3 or bigger size on a flop in a multi-way pot, I just feel like he have a strong hand. hand. So I just put in a call on the flop, and the turn is a king of diamonds. We hit the top set now. So we check it over. He bet 300s into 400s. So at this point, I know he loves his hand. So I go all in about 565 effective, and he snap it off. River's a hand of diamonds. We show our hand, and he tables pocket fives. Oh my god, am I a genius on the flop? I think so. Alright, next hand here, we open to 40 in the hijack with my favorite hand, King 9 suited. Cutoff and button comes along, and now small blind raised to 180. This player is good. He's capable of squeezing light when multiple players flat. So I think King 9 suited is a good candidate to put in a 4-bet bluff. So I 4-bet to 440. Cutoff makes a fold, and unexpected, button moves all in for about 385 effective. Small blind folds, so we are forced to all in. Has up to a flop of Queen Jack 3, and the turn is an 8. River is a 4. We miss everything. We got king high, and he tables king jack of diamonds. I mean, in this hand, I know the small blind is squeezing light, and he can't stand the hits if I put in a 4-bet, but I didn't expect the button gamble, so we lost a $900 pot. In this hand, we open to 50 in the hijack with ace jack offsuit. Button puts in a call, heads up to a flop of jack 6-5 with 2 hearts. I think this board is going to be overstepped, so I check it over to him, and he bets 50 into 115. So what is his range? If he has very strong hands like 2 pairs, or pocket 6s, pocket 5s, actually I think he would use a bigger sizing. So when he bets about half pot, I think he got some jack eggs, some flush draws, or some 1-pair type hand. So I elect to check raise to $400. Tightening jack X and flush draw to call. He thinks for a while, and he moves all in for 1.2k. So what is his range now? I think most of the time, if he has a flush draw here, he's not 3-bet shoving. So I think usually they have a set or 2 pair in this scenario. I didn't really see much player would just shove their entire stack with combo draws or flush draws in position. So I just put my ace jack into the mug, and I asked if he's willing to show his hand for the flop, and he shows it, and he got ace 9 of hearts, a nut flush draw. So, we got bluffed. Alright, this hand is funny, but it limps. Middle blind limps as well. And we looked at it 9-6 offsuit in the big blind. We raised it up to 100 and... No, I didn't raise it. I check it back. So we're 3 ways to a flop of, you know what? 8-7-5. Look at that sweet baby there. Yeah, if you guys can't see that, we flopped the nuts. Middle blind bet 25 into 30. We raised it up to 125. And button moves all in for 266. Middle blind folds. Of course, we put in a call. Turns a queen. River's a queen. He tables pocket aces. And... haha. Why is he limping on the button? And he got what he deserves. Thank you. Alright, next hand here, hijacks open to 35. Here's the guy who bluffed me with ace 9 of hearts versus my ace jack. I folded my top pair, and we looked at a king 10 offsuit on the big blind. We put in a call, so we're heads up to a flop of king 7. Oh my god, I run so well today. We check it over to him, and he checks it back. Turns a 7 of spades, double pairing the board. So what is his range when he checks back the flop? I think this guy would see bet his under pairs like pocket queens, pocket jacks, pocket 10s, pocket 9s for 1 barrel on the flop. So I think ace high is calling at least 1 barrel on the turn, but I think it's calling more if I bet on the river. So I check it over to him, and as expected, he checked it back. River is a 9 of diamonds, so it's time to go for some value. If I'm playing against a normal player, I think I would just go pot here, targeting ace high to call. But this player here is aggressive. We've seen him ship his entire stack with his flush draw on the flop. If I go crazy here, he would just think I'm full of shit. So instead of going pot versus this guy, I would like to go 5x pot. I bet 350 into 75. He hams and haws and finally puts in a call. We show our hand and we are good. Alright, in this hand, we open the 30 with king 9 offsuit from the cutoff. But I puts in a call, so we're heads up to a flop of king 7 3 rainbow. We check it over to him and he bets 50 into 75. We don't have a good kicker here, so we just put in a call and turns a 4 of spades. We check it over to him and he checks it back. River's a jack of spades, so what is his range now? I think if he has a strong king like king queen or king jack, he will continue to bet the turn. So when he checks back the turn, I think he got under pairs like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, or 7x. So I asked myself the first question, how much would I bet to fold out pocket 8s or 7x? I may go about $200 because I show nothing and weakness in this hand just by calling. So I would like to size down to 150 into 175, and but I puts in a call. We proudly show our king 9 and he tables ace king suited. I don't really understand. He call on the pre-flop and then check on the turn with ace king. And anyway, he got us. Big pot alert. Hijack opened to 35 and we looked down at ace 9 offsuit on the button. Versus for a crucial player, my strategy is to 3-bet or fold, so I 3-bet to 125 and big blind cold calls. Hijack comes along, so we're 3 ways to a flop of okay. Ace 8 3 rainbow. They check it over. In a multi-way pot, I'm betting my good hands and good draws, as I said. But this time, even if we have a top pair, big blind is cold calling. What is his range when he cold calls? Hands like ace queen, ace jack, or even ace king. So even we got top pair here, I don't have a pretty good kicker, so I elect to check it back and see how things develop on the turn. And the turn comes an 8 of clubs. They check it over again, so what is their range? I think if one of them has an ace, they will come out and lead the turn. So most of the time I think I'm ahead here and I would like to target some flush draws or weaker ace 6 or one pair type hand to call. So I bet 175 into 400s, big blind folds, and hijack check raise to 420. So let's find his range now. If he is a normal recreational player, I would just fold my top pair here, but he's not. He is always showing bluffs and splashing around. So I think except from the obvious value hand that it's 8x, he can still have some flush draws or straight draw attacking me by not having a good hand by checking back the flop. So versus this player, I think we gave him rope. He's bluffy, so I put in a call and rivers a 7 of diamonds. Nothing gets there. Pot now is 1.2k and hijack moves all in for about 135. I mean, it's not funny, it's not interesting at all. I hope he checks the river and I can just check back. But we gotta face it. So first, is this guy capable of putting his entire stack in the pot bluffing? For this player, I would say so. I would say if he really has an 8 here, he deserves the chips. So I close my eyes and put in a call, and he shows 8-5 offsuit. 屌你老母真係有八. Excuse me, guys. It's just my mother language. I'm expressing my disappointment. But anyway, we lost a big pot. Big pot alert. Second last hand of the final session. Hijacks open to 35, cut off calls, and we look down at 5-4 suited in the big blind. We put in a call 3 ways to a flop of 8-7-6 rainbow. We check it over and the flop goes check through. Turns a jack of hearts. We check it over again and hijack bets 50 into 110. Cutoff puts in a call, so what is their range? I think if hijack has a good a6, he's not checking back the flop. So I think he's value betting with under pairs like jack X, pocket queens, and when cutoff calls, he's capped as well. So with our open-ended straight draw here, I would like to put in a check raise. A check raise to 250 50. Only the hijack calls, so we're heads up to the river, which comes up 8 of diamonds. We just hit the straight. I was going to 2x shove the river, targeting to fold out a weak ace, but now I don't need to. I'm value betting against an ace, so I bet $800 into 610. Hijack tanks for a while, really wanted to fold, but now he picks up the chips. Eventually he puts in a call, we show our hand, and he tables ace jack with a top 2 pair. So the takeaway from this hand is when this player check back the flop and use a small sizing on the turn, he may still have a strong range. Alright guys, our last turn in this journey. No matter I win or lose this one, I gotta go to catch my flight, so good luck us. We looked at a king jack offsuit in the low jack and we raise it up to 50. Cutoff and big blind comes along, so we're 3 ways to a flop of king 5-5 with a rainbow. Big blind checks it over. In a multi-way pot, I'm betting my good hands and good draws, so I bet 75, about a half pot size bet, into 155. Cutoff folds only, the big blind calls, so we heads up to the turn, which comes a queen of hearts. When he checks it over, what is his range? I think he got some king X, some 5x, some underpairs, so on this turn I think the best play is to bet somewhere like $100, targeting his underpairs to call one more barrel. But in game, I bet 250, but still, he check raised to 700s. Not like that. I've learned my lesson throughout this journey. If I fold everything versus a check raise, I would have much more money in my wallet now. Yeah, everything. Especially when they check raise on the turn, they just got no bluffs. I don't even need to ask what is his range because he got a 5 all day. So I made the fold. Unfortunately, we lose our last hand of this journey, but at least we made the best decision, didn't we?
It's coaching time.
You know what's wrong with this hand?
I don't understand my turn. What am I targeting? Like, if I'm targeting king X, I don't need to target king X because we are chopping. If I could redo this, I would just bet small on the turn to keep in like pocket 10s, pocket 9s, pocket 8s. Instead of going this size on the turn, I would just bet small, 100 on the turn, perhaps.
Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with you. I didn't even look at this hand. I just put this hand in here because it's the last hand. I just want to say, Tommy, I'm gonna miss doing coaching time. You have become an excellent poker player from the first vlog where you kind of sucked to the 26th vlog where you are very, very good. I just want to say it was a pleasure and you are amazing.
Oh my god, are you going to make me cry? It's my pleasure too, you know. Like this 6 months, I'm started not being a good poker player, but you guys made me. So thank you.
Yeah, you made
from my
yourself.
heart.
Like you did the work, man. I think what makes you such a strong poker player is like you'll make a mistake, you'll learn from it, and then you'll never make that mistake again. And a lot of poker players, like they make the mistake and they just keep making that mistake in different ways. What separates you is like you make the mistake, you're like, oh, I screwed up. It just doesn't happen ever again. And so like the boat that had a bunch of leaks in it, but when we patched the leak, another one didn't sprout up. It's just like that leak is patched forever.
Yeah, thank you. Because I can't afford making the same mistakes again. I'm too poor.
It gets expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive to make it twice.
Yeah, but you did good.
Hey guys, last session done, but we can't finish strong. Today we played 9 hours, and as a result, I lost about $800. But anyway, I enjoyed my session, and thank you guys for watching. I'm rushing to the airport now, catching my flight, so I'll see you guys very soon. So, did I actually hit 10K a month playing poker in America? I gave it 6 months. City to city, played hundreds of hours chasing that number. There were ups, there were downs. Some what the f moments, big wins, and a few punts I still remember at night. But luckily, I met some incredible people along the way. And I played the biggest game of my life on Hustler Casino Live. It's still unreal for me. But honestly, this whole thing, it changed me. Not just as a poker player, but as a content creator, as a person. If you've been watching, supporting, or came up and said hi, thank you. You're a part of his journey, and that means more than you know. I also learned a lot making vlogs with Hungry Horse Poker. Super grateful for the chance to tell this story. So, what are the final numbers? 540 hours played, 55,000 and some change in green, $102 per hour. That's about 9.2K a month. Didn't quite hit the 10K a month goal, but I'm proud of the grind. And honestly, I walked away with way more than numbers. Next up, Canada. If you want to follow the next part of this journey, feel free to check out my Instagram and YouTube. See you in the next one.
They say in poker you need money to make money. I think they're wrong. I'm gonna start at zero, literally nothing, and build a $100,000 bankroll to prove that it's not luck. But before we play a single hand, I've got some work to do.